Hey dudes, SilviteSoltis here, back again with another classic WoW video for you. Today, I want to talk about a role that is absolutely vital to the game. One that is often the last to be filled in dungeons and raids, but without which nothing can even start. Tanking. Tanks are, more often than not, the leaders of our dungeons. They set the pace of the pulls, shield the DPS and healers from enemy attacks, and are widely considered to be the most crucial member of any party. In Classic WoW, being a tank definitely has its perks. You get groups instantly, and often get priority on valuable drops like Righteous Orbs and Strathold. And sometimes, you can even get paid just to show up. Seriously, people will tip you, trade you gold, and throw consumables at your feet just for clicking yes when you're invited to their group. But despite all these perks, tanking in Classic, especially on the 2025 anniversary servers, is far from easy. And frankly, sometimes it straight up sucks. So today, I want to break down some of the biggest challenges tanks face in Classic WoW, and why even though it looks like a dream role from the outside, it can be a real pain to play. Before getting started, I want to be absolutely clear. This video isn't meant to discourage anyone from tanking, or be overly negative. Far from it. The goal is to explain some of the challenges in order to better educate everyone, potential tanks, DPS, and healers, about the role. Hopefully, by knowing the struggles that tanks deal with, everyone can work together to make your run smoother and your team more cohesive. If you enjoyed this video or find it relatable, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more classic content. But with that out of the way, let's get right into it. Let's start with the elephant in the room, AOE Threat. If you're playing a warrior or a druid tank in Classic, your toolkit for holding multiple mobs is pretty limited. Sure, you can tab through targets spamming Sunder, Cleave, or Swipe, but the reality is that you're mostly just relying on single target threat and praying that no one's AoEs before you've built up enough aggro. And guess what? Nobody waits. Which brings us to the next problem. This is probably the number one reason tanks get frustrated in Classic. You charge in, hit your Blood Rage, and queue up your first Sunder, but before your GCD even finishes, the mage is already casting Blizzard, and the rogue is blade flurrying everything in sight. The end result? Chaos. Mobs are running everywhere, you're chasing loose targets, the healer's panicking, and then, to top it all off, the DPS complains that you can't hold threat. Look, tanks aren't miracle workers. Classic threat generation is a slow burn. If your group doesn't let you establish aggro, things are going to go sideways. But unfortunately, in 2025, players just don't have the patience. Everyone wants to zug, everyone wants to parse, and the tank is left trying to herd cats. And while this does eventually improve in later content like BWL and AQ, that's only because of one thing: gear. Another massive challenge for tanks is just how gear dependent they are. If you're an under-geared DPS, sure, your damage is lower, but you can still function. As a healer, maybe you drink more often. But as a tank, if you don't have solid mitigation gear, you get deleted. If your weapon isn't good, you don't generate rage. And if your hit rating is too low, you miss a ton and lose threat. The margin for error here is razor thin, and it means that a freshly dinged tank often has a much harder time getting started than any other role. Even though groups want tanks, they want geared tanks. So unless you have a guild backing you, or you're okay getting carried through half a dozen runs, you're going to struggle. And if you're already struggling, it'll be even more challenging because tanking is one of those roles where if you mess up, everyone notices. If you pull too many mobs, it's your fault. A taunt misses, your fault. You get crit and die because you forgot a consumable or didn't swap gear, yep, it's your fault. People love to meme that wipes are always the healer's fault, but in reality, everyone blames the tank, even when someone else is clearly to blame. When a hunter or warlock butt pulls an extra pack and the tank dies trying to clean everything up, it's a tanking problem. And honestly, it can get really exhausting. Let's be honest, the Classic player base has an obsession: parsing. Damage meters, rankings, showing off the big crits. DPS players get all the glory. Tanks, though, not so much. Your job as a tank is to stay alive, keep mobs focused on you, and keep the group moving forward. It's essential, but it's often thankless. You won't top meters, you won't get clout, and unless you're the raid leader, you're basically just the group's meat shield. And yeah, there are a few items that are tank specific and highly sought after, but unless you're doing organized content, you're probably not getting showered in praise or loot for doing your job well. Tanks have to know everything: the pull order, the patrols, which mobs cast what abilities, which ones need to be interrupted, where the group should stand, where the next boss is, and how to avoid pulling an entire room. And if the tank messes up, it's a wipe. If someone else messes up, the tank still has to clean it up. In a lot of ways, tanking turns you into the default leader of a group. And while that can be fun, it's also a lot of pressure, especially when you're pugging with random players who just want to zug through everything and blame you when everything goes wrong. The weight of such responsibility can really pull a player down when all they want to do is chill in ZG or run a few dungeons on an off night. So yeah, being a tank in Classic WoW has its perks: instant groups, easy gold, and loot priority, to name a few. But it also comes with a lot of baggage. Losing threat to impatient DPS, high gear dependency, constant responsibility, and zero glory are just a few of the many challenges we face. It's a tough role, and honestly, it's not for everyone. But if you can handle the pressure, if you enjoy being the backbone of a group, and if you really like yelling out, "Wait for 3 Sunders," then tanking can be one of the most rewarding roles in the game. That said, what do you think? Have you tried tanking in Classic? Are people respecting the tank life? Or are you getting blamed for all of your group's problems? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss more Classic WoW content in the future. Thanks again for watching, and as always, take it easy, guys.